personality type. We all have different personality type. That is a barrier that you have to understand. And not understanding the process, getting defensive when somebody says, your communication skills are not so good. You need to improve your You need to understand what communication skills are before you can communicate. Many times I was really tempted to tell my bosses in the past that I said, you are a manager. Did you really take a class in managerial? Where did you graduate? Did you take a seminar in communication? Did you, because the guy barged in, I said, I need this thing on my desk tomorrow. I could say, hey, can I have this thing tomorrow? Simple thing. It's happening all the time at work. The person, your attitude. You could, just be a little bit nicer. And I've been so many times wanted to tell my bosses, I said, did you take a seminar? Did you, really, how you became manager? When you take 608B, we talk about this, how do you become an effective manager. It's very important for communication that we know the basic rules, that the managers have studied the basic rules. So I think one important barrier to communication for most of us is that we don't know the rules. We don't know what is important, the rules. We don't understand the basic concept of communication. We think, yeah, we've been communicating all our lives. But no, you have to take seminar, you have to read. As more you read, as more interaction you have with others, your communication skills improve over the years. Bring you to the last topic on leading is motivating. A very important thing. That's something I've always thought. See, I consider myself more of a motivator. I think I just try. I do this, and I've tried in all classes. That motivate you. To just don't look at just your grade. Look at what you're really going to get out of the class, and what are your goals for the future. Motivation, as I said, is a very important factor for not manager, for all of us. Maybe in daily life you want to motivate your children, you want to motivate your friends, you want to motivate your other half, to just do better than what they're doing. And motivation, besides this, is by inspiration, by encouragement, by help. But I wouldn't say forcing, I wouldn't focus so much on. I think it's more by inspire. And what is important, when I was looking at this lecture and this slide, what is the most important thing about motivating? Most managers like to motivate others, but motivation should start from where? Because I had a student come to me and says, Professor Joy, why do you spend so much time in the classes? Students don't care, we don't care, we just want to get it. Why do you spend all your time preparing some material every semester, like in 602? They said, you changed all the material from last semester, you could have given us the same material. Why do you spend so much time with new material, it's just, you don't have a life, it's just like, why? Because maybe a student, we don't care. She said, oh, maybe we don't work with it. So I think to motivate, the important factor for motivation from my perspective should start from who?
Self-motivation.
Self. I can motivate you, manager, I can say, hey guys, you need to really, really work hard. If I don't care, then then you become a hypocrisy that says, okay, you do it, but no, I do minimum. I just come up here and say, no guys, you're responsible for this class, you have to motivate yourself. I'm expecting this and that. Then I come myself, I'm not prepared, I don't spend time. And then you're going to say, hey, this person, same thing at work. If your boss said, no, you do the job, I'm expecting you to do all this, then you go in and he leaves at 3 o'clock, and you're staying there till 6 o'clock, he comes in, and I have these bosses, they will go play golf. They come at 10 and they'll leave at 3, and he said, no, I need you, I want you to be motivated, this is the project, you need to get it done. And I'm looking, this person comes at 10, leaves at 3, going to play golf. I said, after a while, I said, this is not good. I'm not getting motivated by this manager, because he's not self-motivated. So I think the key factor to motivation is self-motivation. That's why I had to do that assignment, self-management, self-understanding. So adding to that would be self-motivation. Then the last thing managers always do is selecting right people. It's very important because as part of manager, you have to hire good people. And that's the key. Sometimes some managers some bosses don't want to hire people that are smarter than themselves. So you have to be careful. Now when you take 608B, we spend quite a bit of time on that. The standard procedure for employee selection is define need, qualification, get applicant, review pre-screening, conduct interview, and decide on job candidate. I mean, as I said, it takes 6 or 8 B. This is an important topic we talk about. We have to prepare you for job market. And it's very important as a manager. See, right now we are trying to hire another faculty, so we have to go through this process. But what is beside this standard method of selection process? What is the other thing that's really key factor in selection of employer? What are other things you have to consider?
Personality of the
need of job, qualification, application, personality. Those are just very important. What other things? Because you have to live with these people. You have to hire people that you know that you can live with. See, they are not like classes. You have to take. You take classes with faculty and you're done after a semester. Oh God, I'm not going to take. Was it she? You're going to say to yourself, I'm not going to. And you don't have to live with them, but you decide living with somebody. As I said, going back to that decision of selection, all these things. That person selected this for the rest of his life. Are you going to be able to live with this person? When you select people to work, I've seen this many times. I hire somebody based on all this standard, but the personality was totally, this person was at all not person I enjoyed working with. And I learned over the years to work with all kinds of people. But the key is you want to have somebody that you can work with. If their personality is, if you're easygoing and the person is really hard, then you're going to have conflict. See, like, and same thing in relationships. See, me personally, I'm very easygoing. I don't like to argue. Then, I'm dating girls that they are argumentative. And I say, honey, just don't argue. These are little issues. Even though all these factor and criteria says this is the right person for you. So you might hire a person and you look at their qualification. They're great interviewee. Their qualification is great. They graduated from great school, great GPA. But the bottom line, if your personality and other personality of people that are working with you are laid back type, and this person is, a very stable, you're going to have a problem. One university I was, we hired this person, and all of us, we were very laid back. And this person, we hired him from Princeton. And he was always telling a student, and I was, when I was in Princeton, when I was this, so he was so much into himself. And it created conflict. Now his qualification was great person, great qualification, but he just was, personality was different than the rest of us. Because the rest of faculty, we were laid back, we didn't care so much about me, Princeton, or our education background. And he always, even in meeting we had, when I was in Princeton, I did this. So unconsciously, it's not that he was a bad person. It's just his personality was different. And we didn't have a lot of collaboration. And sometimes a student, felt like, he was talking down to them. So these are important that you have to consider when you're hiring or when you selection, not just for hiring, selection process, anything in life. When you select something, make sure the personality matches you. I mean, you would have been probably better fit to work in school like Princeton, just so that, because mentality of those people are more, snobby, and they're just and there's nothing wrong with that, it's just that type of personality. Then we're talking about challenges. I just talked about this. Sometimes candidates are polished to talk about making their true long-term personal behavior. And the mask, as I said, seeing people remains a major challenge for all managers selecting. So it's a very important thing that you understand that manager have training and understand what to look for the selection process. I think the last thing you do after you selecting, you have to develop. Like my goal is, I told you, don't worry about so much in the beginning. My goal is to develop your skills. What matters to me is at the end. If I got you through this process, maybe you didn't do so well on your research assignment, what I said, don't worry too much about that. Don't put your focus. So, oh gee, I didn't do so well on this, I'm worried. My goal is to develop your skill over a period of time. Because the first time some of you are taking class with me, every faculty has different personalities. See that leadership studies, certain personality stuff. Till you get used, my expectation might be different. My goal is to develop and give you the best information and the knowledge as possible. Then at the end, I see how you improve. Same thing, when you're working with others, wait to develop their personality, their knowledge, and wait till the end and see how that is working. And how you develop people, you start, set personal example. I always said, sometimes I use you myself as personal example. You have to coach. So like you try in the class, you say, okay, this is like on your assignment when we were talking about copyright. Okay. And at work, job rotation is good. Sometimes maybe not. I'm not so sure if job rotation was good, but it's good for all of us to be well developed and well understanding. As I said, I would